Find your cousins, everyone.
And he is one.
Welcome to MTGU Unraveled, where we each choose a magic card and over-explain it to distract you from your current hyperfixation. I'm Rafa.
And I'm Ryan. And today we chose cards based on flavor text. Whether it's funny or interesting or just something that popped out to us, because Magic has a lot of really great cards with some really great flavor text on it for one reason or another. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start off by guessing your card today.
It is 4 colorless. It's an artifact, and it's an uncommon from Urza's Destiny, which was printed in 1999.
Colorless? Thought I knew your card, but I didn't expect it to be colorless.
It's definitely Thran Dynamo.
Oh, yeah.
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 The text box says, 4, tap, sacrifice a creature. This card deals 4 damage to target creature.
I don't remember this card being colorless, but maybe that's just because I associate a certain creature type with it, and that creature type has an associated color. Is this cannon fodder?
No.
No.
No, it's Fodder Cannon.
Oh, dang it! So close.
I mean, that's like basically a win, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know me. We're going to call it a win.
So there's a few reprints. The art is by D. Terlizzi. It's 3 goblins messing around with the cannon, having a goblin time of it.
Yeah, goblins.
Yeah.
See, and I associate them with red.
Yeah, that's fair. Goblins are pretty red. And there's a mystery booster reprint. There's an 8th edition that comes in both black and white border. There's also different art on the 8th edition one, and it's illustrated by Christopher Muller. And the cannon got an upgrade. It's like massive compared to the original one. Like the original one looks like you could maybe push it with a couple people down a road or something. This one is way too big for that. And this one has a whole bunch of goblins messing around. And it's even got, if you look closely behind the cannon, 2 goblins lifting up another goblin to load into the cannon.
Goblin cards are so funny.
Yeah. So here's the whole reason I picked the card for the flavor text. Both versions have the same flavor text. That's how good this flavor text was. And then it goes like this. Step 1, find your cousin. Step 2, get your cousin in the cannon. Step 3, find another cousin.
I remember I came across this card when I was looking around at cards, because goblin cards in general, this kind of skipping forward because it's part of what I put down for honorable mentions, but goblin cards are so funny.
Yeah, they are.
And this is definitely one of the better ones.
Yeah, neither one of us has ever built a goblin deck, huh?
Nah.
No, they're just like, they are really funny, but
Funny little guys. Don't really care for that playstyle, though, so.
So what formats can you use Fodder Cannon in? It's legal in Modern, Legacy, Vintage, Commander, and Oathbreaker. Now, do you have an idea of what this card costs since you cheated and looked at it beforehand?
Cheated. Like nothing.
Like nothing, a quarter.
Yeah.
Yep. So I came across this card, and as soon as I read it, I was just like, this card's freaking awesome. I love it. It's so neat. Definitely bracket 1, but you could justify it in a bracket 2 deck. No one would ever pay the 4 for it, but it'd be really funny.
Actually, it really makes me think of Tago, because I built Tago because he throws funny things, rocks. You could build a bracket 1 deck or like completely around the theme of shooting things that aren't meant to be shot.
Hucking it.
Yeah.
So there's just a little bit of stats that I wanted to go over before I call it a day. There are 100 or so decks on EDHREC that have this card in their list. And I bet you they're all bracket 1s, but I have no idea. I didn't look at the list, obviously. And I'm guessing that there's a lot of cards for the lulz just based on synergistic cards that are included with it. But it's mostly goblins. People are throwing this in their goblin decks to be like, I'm loading a goblin in the cannon.
Ciao.
What do you think the most popular commanders for this card are? If I say goblins, I mean, what's the first one? Krenko. Yeah, Krenko's number 1. But the second one might surprise you. And I was like, wow, people who play this deck have a sense of humor. I wouldn't have guessed that. It's Atla Palani. And I'm just kidding.
Oh, load your eggs in, huck them at somebody, and then all of a sudden there's a giant dinosaur sitting on top of them.
Yeah, what the heck? Where'd this dinosaur come from? I just shot an egg out. I bet a dinosaur egg would feel like a cannon.
Probably.
Shot at you. Yeah.
I'm going to slot this into my Atla deck just for one game for the
Until
lulz.
you play it.
Yeah, that would be hilarious.
It's a really bad card. What do you think of this card?
It's a bad card.
Yeah.
But it's hilarious. It really is just a card that, like, it's good because of the giggles.
Yeah, nobody's playing this because they're like, this card's powerful.
No,
Nope.
it's an older card, so maybe it had a place when it was printed.
Yeah.
It doesn't now.
Yeah, no. I mean, we talked about how tokens have power crept, and this reminds me of like how sacrifice energy has probably crept a lot, because maybe this was like a decent sack outlet
Yeah.
in 1999. I have no idea, though.
Nope.
Yeah.
Everything's been power crept at this point.
All right, what do you have for your card?
Okie Today I have 2 blue, red, legendary creature, dragon wizard. It's a rare, originally printed in Guild Pack, which was back in 2006, and it's a 4/4.
I could never guess the title, but I'm assuming this is the guy, right?
The guy?
From the Guild Pack. He's the head.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know which one this is. There's like
there's
four
a
of
few.
them. Yeah.
Text box. Maybe that will help you figure it out.
Probably not.
Flying. Whenever you draw a card, this creature deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Tap. Draw a card.
Draco Genius.
No.
Dang, I give up.
Probably everybody who plays this card for the combo knows which one this is specifically. This would be Niv-Mizzet the Firemind.
Oh, the Firemind. Okay. I was gonna guess Peru next, and then I knew I would just look like an idiot, so I gave up.
There's quite a few Nivs out there. Rules text. If a spell or ability causes you to draw multiple cards, Niv-Mizzet's ability triggers that many times. It does not say when you draw 1 or more cards, it says whenever you draw a card. So if you brainstorm, it triggers 3 times because you draw 3 cards.
What's better than a lightning bolt? A lightning bolt that draws 3 cards and puts 2 back.
A lightning bolt in blue.
Yeah.
And the second rules text, because there was only 2, is if dealing 1 damage to a permanent or player causes you to draw a card, perhaps because Niv-Mizzet is enchanted by curiosity, you'll continue this loop until the loop is interrupted, perhaps by a player losing the game. Nobody ever does that, though.
No.
Moving on.
I'd be curious to see how many times that happens.
There are 9 total printings of this particular Niv-Mizzet, with 3 different arts. One is by Todd Lockwood, one is by Svetlin Velinov, and one is by Darkin. All of them are some variation of Niv-Mizzet sitting up high over a cityscape. Pretty similar in the context.
I actually don't know that much about Niv-Mizzet lore-wise, but I think Niv-Mizzet's pretty cool looking, so hopefully he's not a complete piece of crap.
I'm actually not going to talk about the lore today like I normally do. That is because Niv-Mizzet has a ton of lore, and this episode would end up being 2 hours because I would just talk y'all's ear off. So I do encourage you guys, go look it up. You can always find the base information for the lore on MTG Wiki, or go look up the different actual Magic stories that Niv is in. It's all really good. Of course, I read through it, but there's a lot. He'd been around a while. What formats use this card? Modern, Legacy, Vintage, Commander, Oathbreaker, and Penny. Can you guess the price of this card?
$5.
No. It's 1 to 3 for most different versions of the card. There is a From the Vault Dragons that goes for $9, and then there's a Champs and States version. I'm assuming that was a prize one? I don't know. No idea. That goes for $120.
Holy cow. Yeah, that's got to be pretty rare. Whatever that's
for a
on there.
$1 card.
Yeah.
EDH Rec stats. As a commander, it is number 1,430. There's only 1,160 decks with this Niv-Mizzet as the commander.
That's actually pretty impressive considering how old this card is, that there's that many decks running around in the wild. Yeah.
It's a Niv-Mizzet, and it's one of the ones that does combo. I'm not surprised that it's got some, but I'm also not surprised that there's not very many. And then in the 99, it has a 2.82%, 60.6 thousand out of 2.5 million decks that it could be in.
That's still quite a few as well.
Still quite a few.
I mean, this is still seeing play.
And I would assume that in almost all of those decks, you also see the other ones because you want more of them in there to make sure that you draw into your combo piece. So, speaking of the combo, so we've talked about there's several Niv-Mizzets. There's 7 Niv-Mizzets now in total. 4 of them either trigger without continuing the loop for the combo, like Draco Genius, or they do something completely different. There's 2 different Niv-Mizzets that don't ping or draw cards and so on and so forth.
All I heard was there's 2 boring Niv-Mizzets.
So the Niv-Mizzets that can be part of your typical Niv combo, because Niv combos with himself. There's Niv-Mizzet Perun, which is your blue, 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 red, red, red.
Yep.
5/5. This spell can't be countered. Flying, whenever you draw a card, Niv-Mizzet deals 1 damage to any target. Whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, you draw a card. This is the more popular one because it has the same side of the effect as Firemind does, with when damage is dealt, draw, or when you draw a card, deal the damage.
Yep.
This one's more popular, I'm assuming, because it can't be countered.
Yep.
It's a little bit bigger. So it's ranked number 43 on EDHREC.
It's the only Niv-Mizzet I play in any of my decks.
It's by far the most popular of the Niv-Mizzets.
That bottom line of text is really nice.
And then the other Niv-Mizzet that would pair with either Firemind or Perun is Niv-Mizzet Visionary, which is 4 blue-red. Flying, you have no maximum hand size. Whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, you draw that many cards. So the way that Niv loops, if you haven't gathered, is one of them triggers when you draw a card, you deal a damage. The other one, you deal a damage, you draw a card.
And also should be noted that the other Niv-Mizzet turns Lightning Bolt into a Brainstorm that you don't have to put 2 back.
Valid.
Just want to finish my joke.
You can also do this combo without having Niv-Mizzet with Niv-Mizzet, and that is what the rules text was referring to, using Curiosity, which is a 1 blue enchantment aura, enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. So that one combos with Niv-Mizzet Perun, and he does it all by himself. He doesn't even need to second him.
And if you're going to run this combo, make sure to get the little geary Curiosity that we've talked about before.
Yes. Fun fact, the Niv-Mizzet Perun and Curiosity combo is the number 19th ranked most played combo on EDHREC. So it's very, very, very popular. And then Niv-Mizzet with Niv-Mizzet is 43. So they're both really high up there. Yeah.
Well, one's like a, 12 mana combo and one's a 7 mana combo. Yeah. So it makes sense that the one is ranked a lot higher.
Yeah. So why I picked this card? Because we're talking flavor text. There are 2 separate flavor texts depending on which version of Niv-Mizzet Firemind, back to, the less cool of the Niv-Mizzets, but he's got better flavor text. One of the flavor texts is as brilliant as a cut diamond and with just as cruel an edge. Very fitting. That is not the flavor text I am talking about, though. The other flavor text is parentheses Z minus greater than symbol parentheses to the 90th degree minus parentheses E minus N squared W parentheses to the 90 degrees T equals 1. This is why I picked this. I saw that and I was like, what on earth does that mean? Because it looks like a bunch of nonsense. Well, let's start with the first part. You have Z minus a greater than symbol within parentheses to 90 degrees. Take all 3 of the things within the parentheses, turn them 90 degrees clockwise. The Z looks like an N. The minus sign looks like an I. The greater than sign looks like a V. Then you have minus, which Niv-Mizzet has a dash in it. Then you have the second parentheses, E minus N squared W. N squared, separate that into N times N. So E minus NNW to the 90 degrees. Turn them all 90 degrees, and it ends up looking like MIZZE. Then there's a T. Niv-Mizzet equals 1.
Why does it equal 1?
So, there's a couple of different thoughts behind that. It could be that he considers himself number 1 in every aspect.
Has he met Bolus?
I don't think Niv thinks all that highly of Bolus. Or it could be that he is the only higher dragon that's left in Ravnica. Mark Rosewater had commented at one point that the equals 1 part was that this means equal 1 copy of his name.
That's boring.
Yeah. Another interpretation is that his ability to tap to draw a card does 1 point of damage.
So he's self-aware, breaking the 4th wall?
I guess.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I like the first one.
Yeah.
Little full of himself. Yeah. He is the one. Or it really is like he's the only one that's left. So I just thought, I looked at it and I was like, that is some absolute nonsense. That's not even like real math. What is going on here? And then I figured it out and I was like, oh, that's really, really creative. So I didn't go with funny text. I went with something that I thought is one of the most creative texts that I have seen. out there.
No, that's freaking sweet.
And it's a little puzzle within the flavor text. Whoever figured that out first, you're awesome, because that's really cool.
No, that's awesome. I'm literally wearing a shirt that says math is magic, and you picked a math card. I'm so upset.
I know, I keep doing all the things that are really more your style, but I like math too, just not like you do. Again, not getting into the total lore, but I did find a couple of little fun facts that we're going to talk about.
She lied. She's doing the lore.
I'm not doing the lore. So although Niv-Mizzet is over 16,000 years old, according to Magic lore, he is not considered an Elder Dragon. His character was introduced in 2006 with Guild Pact, more than a decade after Elder Dragons of Legends and during a period when the creature type was unsupported. Elder reappeared in 2015 with Dragons of Tarkir, and was used in subsequent sets associated with ancient dragons that are at most a fraction of Niv's age, leading players to question why Niv-Mizzet has not been considered an Elder Dragon. And again, Mark Rosewater has commented on this and basically just said, it's possible he should be an Elder Dragon.
We messed up. Oops. Yeah, I mean, he didn't say that.
Yeah.
But,
didn't think about, like, Niv when we were doing this.
We didn't do the math. Hey, Niv-Mizzet is just hitting his 40s squared, so he's got a long time left.
Yeah. So, from now on, just remember, Niv-Mizzet, honorary Elder Dragon, the eldest of the elders.
Errata him.
Right now.
Yeah, I want an errata for no good reason. Like honestly.
Because he deserves it.
He deserves it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So what do you think of this particular Niv-Mizzet?
Why do I have to talk about just one Niv-Mizzet?
Because this is the one I'm talking about.
Fine. Which one is this one? I already forgot the name of it.
The Firemind.
Oh, that's what was in my head, but I was like, no, it's not that one. There's too many. Okay.
There are too many. Good gravy.
The card itself mechanically is not terrible. It's like something that you'd have fun playing. The other Niv-Mizzet is better better. It's harder to cast, but it's better when it's on the board. The Perun. The math on this card, I never came across this, and it's freaking awesome. I want to play this card just so I can look at the flavor text and be like, that's so cool. I'm going to turn my card this way. I'm going to have a handful while I'm sitting there not waiting for my turn. And I'm just going to have one card that's 90 degrees.
I wonder what that's going to be.
You're always going to know what the card is in my hand.
No, it is. It's a really fun fact that I don't know how many people out there actually know that, because I had never heard about it before either. But now if you are playing Niv-Mizzet, you can be like, hey guys, fun fact. This is what we do. We talk about things you want to talk about around the table of Magic. Here's a cool one that you can point out to people and make them.
When Niv-Mizzet the Firemind is on the battlefield, you cannot give him vigilance so that every time you attack, he's 90 degrees. Because that's how he should be. This one specifically.
Yeah. And then use a little imagination because they have the N squared in there. So
that's fine.
Yeah.
This card is meant to be turned 90 degrees, which in the rules text, it says to turn your cards 90 degrees. So all you people who turn it a 45, it bothers me.
Oh, don't get me started.
Yeah.
Tap properly. Good Lord.
How have we not mentioned that before?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We are big proponents of you tap correctly and properly represent your board state.
I mean, I literally have the lands with the full text and they say to do it. Am I the only one that like sits there while I'm waiting for my turn and like reads my cards and looks at them and stuff?
No, I usually read them before I put them down. And if I'm playing them, I usually know what they do.
Well, when I'm not blabbing, I'm reading my cards and looking over them. I don't know how many times I've read those full text lands. I could not even tell you what the first sentence is.
Nope, no idea.
Oh.
No, I probably should do that because then I'd find more cool flavor text.
Yeah. Anyway, do you have any honorable mentions?
Well, like I had brought up, so, spoiler, this originally was going to be specifically funny flavor text, but I was having a really, really hard time with that because all of the funny ones that I found were all goblins. They are all absolutely hilarious. And I was really concerned that you were also going to pick a goblin, and we usually will do like little hints beforehand and be like, so what color is your card in, to make sure that we don't have the same card, especially if the category is narrow, which actually the one that you picked was the one that I was like, I think that's the funniest, so if I'm going to do that, I guess I'll do this one. But this would have been really hard to do because we would have been like red or colorless for a goblin, and that doesn't give any context.
Any goblin lovers out there are going to be like, why can't you do a whole episode about goblins?
Well, if you really want an episode about goblins, let us know in the comments, and we'll do it. Yeah. We're up for your suggestions. And then outside of that, the other one that I came across, which I was trying to be nice and not do something with multiple cards again, because I've done that a few times. If you look at Hans Eriksson, which I play in Roxanne,
Yep.
his flavor text says, "Nothing could ruin such a fine day, Safi." And then on Lurgoyf, it says, "Ach, Hans, run! It's a Lurgoyf! Safi, Eric's daughter, last words." There's a whole story behind it. Safi runs away, Han gets really messed up, but his fine day certainly was ruined. Dang Lurgoyfs. I love it when cards connect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's great.
What about you?
No, I don't have any. If there's something funnier out there, I want to find it.
Before we end our episode, we like to talk about something that we have been hyperfixated on within the world of Magic or outside of it. And today I wanted to talk about playing old video games. I am a gamer. I consider myself a gamer. But I am a newer gamer than what a lot of gamers' origin stories began with. I played a little bit when I was a kid with like Mario games on the Super Nintendo, and then some of like the Disney ones like Aladdin and Lion King. And then like some Halo in there, but I really wasn't like an avid player. I just kind of played with my uncle because I wanted to spend time with him. And then outside of that, I really didn't play all that much video games until Skyrim came out. So like, and that's when I really started playing video games, but I didn't go back and play some of those like classic, everybody plays them video games. I, continued on with the Borderlands series and eventually went back. But lately, I've had this thing about going back and playing the games that all of these people have been like, "Oh, I remember that game. It's so good." Recently, like the last week, I've been totally focused on going back and replaying all of the Kingdom Hearts games. That's one of your favorite series. It's talked to me about it a million times, and I've never played any of them.
It's not one of my favorite series. It is my favorite series.
And it is really, really good. After putting it off for so long, I don't have any regrets of going back and playing it, which I was really kind of iffy about because I've gone back and tried to play other games. A little bit before that, I tried to play Mario 64.
Oh, yeah.
I love Mario games. Absolutely not. Mario 64 is so heavy and bulky, and the movement is awful. And I just cannot do it. And I know I've heard other people complain about stuff like that too. With the Kingdom Hearts games, you warned me about one of them. I'm not playing Chain of Memories. That has nothing to do with it being old. That's because the gameplay is dumb.
To be clear, you're playing the remake for the console, not the handheld Chain of Memories.
Yeah, I'm not playing the original versions. I'm playing the remixes.
Yep.
But this game, it wasn't hard to go back and play. Whereas even though I love the Mass Effect series, even games that I did play are really hard to go back to sometimes. The original Mass Effect is awful.
I know, we have the 3 put together, and I tried getting through 1, and I got less than halfway and gave up on it because, it's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should just start 2 and play it because I've heard they're really good, but I've never played those. So I know the feeling of going back to an old game. I'd never played it, but going to an old game and being like, "Oh, I can't get through this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just makes me think number one, it makes me sad because I wish I had just played more games when I was younger. I was busy being outdoors and doing active stuff. But if I had known that I'd be so into video games when I got older, I would have played a lot more of them. Because I think I would have liked a lot of these games back then because we don't have the amazing graphics and all of those things that we have now.
That's true. Yeah, you didn't play a Pokemon game until you played Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, right?
Eevee.
Yeah, see, where I was sitting there as a 7-year-old or 6-year-old playing Pokemon Blue and Red and Yellow, and then I got Silver and I was like, "Oh, it's so upgraded."
No, and that's just a common thing that I hear. So it's been on my mind a lot lately with what other games should I go back and try and play? And what games will I be able to make it through and which ones won't I? Which, by the way, guys, between 1.5 and 2.5, I beat them in a total of 5 days. When I say I'm grinding these games, I mean it.
I know. I was watching you play it here and there, and I was watching the cutscenes because I can't help it. I love the game. And I forgot a lot of, not forgot, but it's not very clear in my mind. And I was like, wow, these games are kind of sad. No wonder I'm the way I am.
They're also coming out with a lot of remakes of games. That's been a big thing, especially for Nintendo and stuff. They're remaking the Star Fox game. It makes me want to compare the two and see how much of a difference there is. They're remaking Ocarina of Time, which I've never played that game, I'd never played any sort of Zelda game until Breath of the Wild.
Which is a fantastic game.
Absolutely amazing. I love that game.
Yep, creativity's dead. All we get are remakes and reruns, but I'm fine with it.
All right, well, that is really all I wanted to talk about. If you think of any games that you're like, yes, go back and play that, let me know, because I will add them to my list. It's just crazy how much like nostalgia affects whether you can get yourself through a game or not.
Chain of Memories is good.
No, it's not. If you haven't played Kingdom Hearts from somebody who just started playing it, go back and play them. They're really, really good. But that brings us to the end of today's episode. If you would like to find us for more nerdy shenanigans and other Magic content, you can find us on TikTok at Dicentric Games.
And if you'd like to share any of the quirks that Magic has hidden in their cards, join the Discord in the description. If you have questions or suggestions for the show, please leave a comment or send us an email.
We hope you learned something new today about the cards that we talked about. Let us know if there's anything else interesting about the cards we chose or what you found interesting from today's episode. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your week.
Click all the buttons.
Do all the things.
And we'll see you next time. Bye!